This was so special for me. First of all, to just have something that reminds me of where I come from, of my country and my culture out there on court, because I feel like that's what makes me special, is where I come from.
I think the day before my final or the night before, and my agent sent me over this kind of PDF, and it was the presentation of this Sampaguita project that Nike had made. I was like 2 nights before my match at Wimbledon, and it was so beautiful. It was like the message behind it was great. I felt that it fit me so much.
Eala didn't just break the internet, she shattered it. And not with a match-winning shot, not with a ranking milestone, but with something no one saw coming. She did it from a podcast seat, sitting across from Jessica Pegula, smiling calmly as she dropped an announcement that sent Filipino fans into a complete frenzy and triggered one of the biggest commercial waves Nike has seen in the Southeast Asian market in recent memory. The Sampaguita collection is live, and the second those words left her mouth, everything changed. Meanwhile, Aryna Sabalenka, the world number one, the two-time Australian Open champion, the most dominant baseline force in women's tennis, is sitting with a feeling she is not used to. Not the feeling of losing a match, not the feeling of dropping a ranking point. Something far more uncomfortable than either of those. The feeling of being left behind. Of watching a brand she has given years to, a brand she has repeatedly asked for a custom outfit from, a brand that told her no, turn around and hand a 20-year-old Filipino sensation a $45 million contract and crown her the face of an entire continent. That is not just a sting. That is instant, gut-wrenching, career-defining regret. Let's break down exactly how we got here, because the full story is even wilder than the headline. It started during that podcast appearance with Pegula. When two tennis stars sit down together, people pay attention. But nobody expected that this particular conversation was going to spark a merchandise explosion of historic proportions. Because right there in the middle of that podcast, Eala confirmed that her brand new Sampaguita collection by Nike was officially going live, and the reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Across the Philippines, stores were flooded almost instantly. Online platforms struggled to keep up with the demand. Filipino fans who have been watching Eala's rise with so much pride and love did not hesitate for a second. They moved fast. They moved with passion. And they moved in numbers that left the entire sportswear industry stunned. I was just so happy to be there. I was wearing my little flower and then, oh my gosh. The projected sales from the Sampaguita collection alone were reported to land somewhere between $1 and $5 million within the first week. $1 to $5 million from a single merchandise drop. From a player who has not yet won a WTA 1000 title. From a player who only cracked the top 30 for the first time in March 2026. That is not just a number. That is a phenomenon. And when you see what the collection actually looks like, you instantly understand why the reaction was so powerful. The centerpiece is a white shirt with a beautiful green background and the Sampaguita flower sitting right at its heart. The Sampaguita is not just a flower. It is the national flower of the Philippines. It represents identity, heritage, home. Paired with Eala's iconic Sampaguita hairband and clean white shoes that complete the look, this collection is not just merchandise, it is a cultural statement. Nike did not just design clothes, they told a story, and the Filipino people embraced that story with open arms and open wallets. Eala herself was visibly emotional during the podcast. She spoke with genuine pride about receiving the Sampaguita as the inspiration behind her collection, calling it a deeply personal moment for her. And that authenticity is the entire secret. When Eala gets excited, her fans get excited. When Eala feels proud, over 100 million Filipinos feel proud with her. That connection is not something a marketing team can manufacture in a boardroom. It is organic, It is real, and it is unstoppable. Nike has been building toward this moment very deliberately. Every major tournament has come with a personalized drop, a Philippines-themed collection designed to create buzz and drive sales right before the on-court action begins. Each release has been bigger than the last. Each drop has proven that the demand from Eala's fan base only keeps growing stronger. And then, just before Miami, Nike made their boldest move yet. They opened an entire gallery in Eala's name, a dedicated space celebrating her most iconic moments in tennis. Not a banner, not a social media post, a gallery. That is the level at which Nike is operating when it comes to Alex Eala. And then the contract details came out, and they are staggering. $45 million over 3 years. Performance incentives that could push the total even higher. A position as the official face of Nike across the entire Southeast Asian market. Custom outfits, global campaigns, the full superstar treatment. The kind normally reserved for athletes who have spent a decade earning it. Eala is getting it at 20 years old, and she has earned every single cent of it through sheer cultural force. Nike moved quickly because they remembered the Coco Gauff mistake. They were slow when Gauff rose, and New Balance swooped in and signed her. It was a blow the brand has not forgotten. With New Balance and Adidas also reportedly pursuing Eala, Nike was not going to hesitate again. They saw what she represented. They understood the commercial power of the Filipino diaspora behind her, and they acted with total conviction. Now let's go back to Sabalenka, because the timeline here is what makes the regret feel so immediate and so painful. For years, Sabalenka had been pushing Nike for better treatment. She wanted a unique custom outfit that matched her status as world #1. She asked. Nike said no. A multiple Grand Slam champion, the best player on the planet by ranking, was told by her own sponsor that she was not worth a custom dress. And then Nike turned around and gave the next superstar in line a $45 million deal, a gallery, and the face of Southeast Asia title. If that is not a message, nothing is. Sabalenka herself confirmed that Nike will no longer be creating custom-made dresses for her. She has reportedly been reaching out to the brand directly, trying to salvage what remains of the relationship. But the signs are pointing in one direction only, and that direction is the exit. A partnership built over years of titles and top rankings is slowly dissolving at the exact moment that Eala's partnership with the same brand is reaching its most spectacular peak. The cruel irony? Sabalenka is still winning. She defended her Miami Open title in 2026. She is still the world #1. On the court, nothing has changed. But off it, everything has. Because Nike is not just a sportswear deal. Nike is a signal. Nike tells the world who they believe in, who they are investing in, who they see as the future. And right now, that signal is pointing directly at Alex Eala. What Eala has built is something Sabalenka cannot replicate with trophies alone. Thousands of fans line up for hours just to watch Eala practice. At the 2026 Australian Open, a first-round match by a player outside the top 30 generated international headlines and BBC coverage because of the sheer scale of the Filipino fan base that showed up at Melbourne Park. The Sampaguita collection sold out before most people had even finished reading the announcement. That is a completely different kind of power. Eala is 20 years old. The titles are coming. The rankings will follow. And when they do, what she has already built commercially and culturally will become something that reshapes the economics of women's tennis permanently. Sabalenka's regret is not about one bad decision. It is about watching the future arrive faster than anyone expected. Wearing a white shirt with a green background and a flower that means everything to a nation of 100 million people. The Sampaguita collection is just the beginning, and everyone else in women's tennis is already playing catch-up. But before we go any further, we want to hear from you, because this story is bigger than just our take on it. Do you think Nike made the right call choosing Eala over giving Sabalenka what she asked for? And what about Sabalenka? Does she deserve more respect from a brand she has given years of her career to? Or did her own situation push Nike toward this decision? Drop everything in the comments right now. And here's the big one. Do you think Alex Ayala is going to justify every single dollar of that contract and become the most commercially powerful athlete in the history of women's tennis? Or is this a bubble that bursts the moment the results slow down? We genuinely want to know what you think. The comment section is open, the debate is live, and knowing this community, it is going to be an absolutely electric conversation. So don't hold back. Get down there and tell us exactly where you stand.